I'd like to recognize that Waterloo is situated on the land traditionally used by the Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and the Neutral peoples. We also acknowledge the enduring presence and deep traditional knowledge and philosophies of the Indigenous people with whom we share this land today. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. So tonight, we are the Waterloo Region Grassroots response to the Ukrainian crisis. We're a collective of people kind of came quickly together, and we just kind of started building on our own visions of what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it. How this kind of worked was we had an initial group of people that kind of brainstormed various ideas, and then as various others came on and wanted to work on different pieces, as soon as there's enough people to energize and activate that kind of section, those people went off and started visualizing how they like to formulate that team or that group. And then as we started growing even larger, we then started looking at, how does this team interact and engage with other ones? So currently right now, we do have our base group, which started off with the housing team. They started off finding people that would open their homes for Ukrainians coming to Waterloo region. They've now also looked at assisting and helping families within Waterloo region who are currently housing or hosting Ukrainians outside of our help right now. In a buddy kind of paired off section is also the Ukrainian buddies. So they're people who have Ukrainian descent, who can speak Ukrainian, and what their focus is on helping and assisting the Ukrainians that are coming into these homes or into Waterloo region and offering assistance as well. We then also have a resource team, which is looking at transportation, translation, donations, and mental health and other things like helping them with jobs. And putting there for children into schools, high schools. And then part of that is also donations. So looking at how do we come up with finding donations, and part of that is kits. So looking at, do we do a welcome kit? Do we do a hygiene kit? What are some of the kits that we can provide? From that, we learned that we can't do a lot of that work ourselves because we don't have a bank account or financial stuff. So we started looking at partnerships. So partnerships with church, organizations, service clubs, businesses, and other entities, and looking at if they could provide some of these services for us. So they might come up with welcome kits, and resources could tell them that we need 15 or 20 new welcome kits because those are the Ukrainian families that are coming based on our knowledge through the Ukrainian buddies. And then those churches or organizations can create them and then transport them. So it's a really interwoven piece of everything. We're really trying to juggle what this looks like, how do we function, and we're all volunteer based. There's no one here that's getting paid, and we're all coming from different skill sets, different walks of life, different experiences. So it's a great opportunity if anyone is not volunteering yet to jump into something that's unique, something that we're really growing and building from the grassroots. We started this because of the war on Ukraine and people fleeing Ukraine coming to Canada. We felt that there was a need in order to assist these people because the way that they're coming into the country is not the normal way. They're not coming as refugees. They're not coming as immigrants. They're coming up through the new application process. And we do have an immigration consultant, who will explain, or Gotham, who will explain what this new process is. But because they're not coming in through YMCA or Immigration Services or any entity or organization, they could just show up at an airport and just be here. There's no central location. So I'm trying to find and help and assist the Ukrainians that are coming into our area has become, one of the first steps that we're trying to accomplish. And also on top of that, we do have sponsorships, we do have marketing communications, we do have volunteer management, information management, organizational management. So there's tons of different types of teams that are involved. Yes, so that's kind of a summary of who we are. We are our modes of communications. We're using Slack to communicate with one another on a daily basis. Email is also a great tool, but Slack is a way for us to quickly chat between members. We currently, I think, have 200 to 300 people on Slack in the last 2 weeks. And then we also have Monday, which is our task management software in CRM. So, Jenny, if you want to jump in now and potentially do the team updates, or if anyone has an update, that'd be great.
Thank you. So we will keep an eye on those questions in the chat. Some of those questions I might not have the answer to, but anyone else can just feel free to answer as long as you know the information. Please do feel free to answer those chat questions. Steph is in 2 meetings right now, so I'm glad to get the ball rolling with our team updates. If there is someone immediately wanting to begin, I would appreciate a hello from that team lead. Or we can put someone on the spot here from housing. If Lisa is here.
She's not in.
Lisa's not in? Okay. Gotham, are you available?
Yes, yes.
Yes, I am here.
Great. So Steph did introduce you. If you could give our Ukrainian buddies update, I'm sure there's lots to share.
Okay, you want me to start, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, so good evening, everybody. My name is Gautam Koluri. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, and I am also an international education consultant. And I previously worked in Conestoga College and Mohawk College as the international recruitment officer for Eastern Europe, which was also Ukraine was part of my market where I was dealing with. And I have been helping Ukrainians since the new program came in, the Canada authorization for Ukraine authorization for emergency travel. And we've helped almost 1,000 Ukrainians to process the visas. We did a free, instructions to a YouTube video with the instructions to apply for the visa process. And we've had more than 60,000 viewers from Ukraine who watched this and who we educated them how to apply for the visa process, and it was very helpful for thousands of people. So getting back to our Waterloo region, we also have volunteers, Ukrainian and Russian speaking volunteers. So Ukraine, it's a bilingual country with Ukraine and Russian speaking. Eastern Europe, Eastern Ukraine, which is currently going on the onslaught. There are many Russian speakers out there, Ukrainian speakers out there as well. So we have all those people coming in now, and we have, as of today, we have about 20 Ukrainian volunteers who are locally here in Waterloo supporting our efforts. They are supporting the Ukrainian families. They are supporting the whole process of transition from Ukraine or from Eastern Europe, wherever they are now, to settle down here in Waterloo. We had about 36 registered Ukrainian families. Some of them were already able to source them through their friends or relatives here, and we had about 4 or 5 families. We were able to connect with the host families here, and some of them have already arrived, and on the first week of May, we have more Ukrainian families coming in. So I, really appreciate all the local host families who are helping, and I think we will probably need much more support when it comes to accommodation. So thank you very much for all your help, and I think we are just in the beginning phase, and we might really look into more Ukrainians coming in. As I said, we have about 36 already registered, and this is the beginning. So I'm really hope that there will be more local host families stepping up to support to host the Ukrainian families. So that's very important at this stage to help and also have the capacity, the housing capacity to help Ukrainian families coming in. From the government side, a couple of good news, unfortunately, in this unfortunate situation. So a couple of days ago, Honorable Minister Sean Fraser announced that Poland, which is actually now more than 2 million, almost about 2 million Ukrainians are in Poland, and which has been the bottleneck for the visa process. Many of the Ukrainian families are in Poland and applying. So there was a huge delay with the biometrics, and this was required. So initial process Ukrainian families submit for the visa, and after that they have to give the biometrics, which is basically fingerprint and a photograph. So this was the bottleneck. The capacity was very limited, and a couple of days ago, Minister Sean Fraser announced that there will be additional biometric centers have already started, and they have increased the capacity by more than 2,000 daily. So this will really support the visa process out there. Second thing, what the government of Canada, IRCC, has taken steps was to, after the visa was approved, Ukrainian families had to physically send the passports to and had to get the visa sticker stamped. So that was taking a lot of time, about 3 to 4 weeks. So the government of Canada recognizes the delay, and they have given a foil-less visa or electronic visa opportunity for Ukrainian families who are traveling from 6 countries in Europe. So any Ukrainian family who is approved visa and receives this electronic visa, they can fly to Canada, and they'll be able to apply for the TRV visa sticker here, but they'll be able to fly to Canada with the electronic visa. So this is one good news. And finally, something which many Ukrainian families actually have been waiting is the update, which was for emergency financial assistance. So province of Ontario, we interestingly, I think it was announced, but again, we didn't, there's no centralized update on the information coming from the province. And one good big support for the Ukrainian families is the funds, financial assistance. So Ukrainian families will be able to apply for the Ontario Emergency Financial Assistance, and they will be able to receive $733. I'm sharing the screen here. So they'll be able to receive $733 a month if it is a single person, and if it is a family, they might have more, they might be eligible for more 4 months. So this program eligibility was updated on the 14th of April, and this includes Ukrainian migrants arriving, under this the Canada-Ukraine authorization for emergency travel. So this is big support for all the families coming here. So they have access to $733, and it can be up to 6 months. So the families may receive financial support for up to 6 months. So this is good. And prescription drug permits, if they are eligible for emergency assistance, they'll be issued a drug card to pay for the prescription drug calls as well. So these two important updates from the provincial government, which is really helpful to the Ukrainian families out here. Yeah. So Jenny, passing to you. So that's the update from me.
Thank you, Gotham. And how are the Ukrainian buddies doing generally?
Good. We would love to have more Ukrainian. I think I see Lena here. Lena, hi Lena. I think Lena's joined yesterday. And please, if you, I think we are almost about 20 plus volunteers, and at the pace of the registrations coming in, I think we probably will need to double our number. So we are doing efforts to, invite more Ukrainians join, and all good. So going on fine. And as I said, we need more Ukrainian buddies and more host families on. This is probably the most important agenda for the next 2 weeks. Steph, to your update.
Thank you. So I will, as a volunteer management lead, I would be happy to discuss Ukrainian buddies in the empty time when other teams are meeting. If anyone who is new to the group would like to talk about that, I can happily discuss some of those ideas with you. And of course, by email, send questions anytime. We do have a housing update from Steph, if she's available now.
Yes, absolutely. So I have an update from Lisa. So the housing team, along with regional partners, continue to source out an organization who will take on the reliability of matching hosts and Ukrainian families. What's we found is that we have over 90 families within this community, and that's with hardly any actually advertising or marketing right now, because we're not really advertising and marketing. They are promoting the host buddies and host families right now, just because we don't have an organization that can help with vetting. We've been struggling with this because we are volunteers. We're unsure about the liability of us as volunteers matching families. So we are looking for an organization that would feel comfortable working with us, not for profit or a charity, that we could provide information for all the hosts that want to provide housing to them and work with them to match the Ukrainians that are coming into our area. So Ukrainians, sorry, one second, my son's pushing the computer. We are hopeful this will happen soon, as we want more Ukrainians arriving and seeking shelter. For now, many hosts are posting their accommodations on third-party websites, such as the Ukraine Take Shelter, and then circling back to our Grassroots group for support. The housing team is also working on developing a host buddy program for host families. This program will involve check-ins and supports for hosts. It's about an hour a week commitment and a great way to meet like-minded people. So what we're finding is that what we'd like to see is that the host families are actually part of our team. They're volunteers. We want to support them. We want to support them on this learning journey. And we would hopefully like to see is that if they're willing to be host families now for displaced Ukrainians, that potentially in the future, when we have Syrian or Afghan refugees coming in, that they might then consider the exact same thing for these people who have urgent needs as well. So our first Host Buddy virtual event, information event, was on May 1st at 4 p.m. I think we had around 80 people. And you'll hear, and it's actually recorded on our YouTube channel. So there you heard from, sorry, May 1st was not the first one. May 1st is the next one. But the first one we had 2 weeks ago had about 80 people. So there's going to be one on May 1st at 4 p.m. And you'll be able to hear 2 current hosts in their experience, as well as see how you can support this family and others. If you're interested in becoming a host buddy or offering accommodations, there is a form on our website under Get Involved and says Housing. There's a form on there to complete. The housing team is also investigating ways for host families to connect virtually or in person. And they say, check out our social media account. And if you are on Slack, we'll obviously get an update, and we have our newsletter, so you can go to our website and get a newsletter as well. Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing those updates, Lisa, through Steph. I wonder if Jill, if you would be able to update us on how your team is doing in marketing. Are you available?
Hi, thanks.
Great.
So we've been working on, we've been working on updating the website as well as just the overall journey for different audiences. So we've confirmed that we have 2 obviously primary audiences: the Ukrainians arriving in the region and volunteers who want to contribute resources and or help, as well as the secondary audience, corporate sponsors. With that in mind, we've begun crafting 3 journeys, really currently focusing on the website, but obviously with the whole communications plan, we're going to be outlining that as well, with the corresponding content to just simplify the process of getting the resources and information needed. We've been receiving a lot of feedback. Just there's so much obviously going on and information changing every day. Just wanting to make sure that when people come to the website or come to this group for help, it's easy to access the information they need and the events that they need to go to and the connections they need to make. It's still a work in progress, obviously, and I think it's going to continue different iterations as we change our focuses in our audiences. And I've been asked to people here, would love folks to QA the current website, and please share that. You can Slack me or Chris Hussey with feedback and information, that kind of thing, and we'll reach out with future updates. Please let me know any pain points. This will inform email communications, social media communications, as well as our website. Again, feel free to Slack me with that information. yeah, brief update, but yeah. Thanks, Jenny.
Thanks, Jill. I wonder if Anna or Claudia are here this evening.
I'm here.
Hi, Anna. Happy
Hello.
Friday.
How are you doing?
Great, thanks. It's exam season, I take it, for
Well,
university students.
it's a lot of different things season.
Mhm.
I would put it like that.
What's your good news to share tonight?
My good news is we are now working with creating a one big database between Nadia, Marina, and myself and Claudia. We are putting together one clear to access database so we can actually know who needs help urgently. And we are now asking families to fill out intake, and that goes through Gotham. And then when they need access to resources, there is a resource request form. It's been used very well over the past week. It's been just over a week since it's been available for everyone to access. We are likely to tweak it. That was our first kind of try at the form, and we know that we knew right from the beginning that it wouldn't be perfect right away, but we wanted to give it a try. And I think it's a very useful way to understand what are the needs of the families, what they actually appreciate from what we've been trying to offer. This week we delivered, I don't know if Claudia is here, through John. Thank you so much. So John delivered a few kits, school kits, and backpacks that are beautiful to the families who arrived with school-age kids. And we were able to fundraise to deliver fresh produce and to 4 families. So that's partnering with a small family-owned business. And they get fresh things and in a basket, and that's delivered to the door. So that came in today, and that's been well coordinated, more or less, with that resource form coming in. It's been a nice process. So we're still looking for storage and a way to keep it more organized in terms of getting more volunteers on board to sort and pack those packages and being able to kind of streamline that process. So there's still a lot of moving parts to figure out, but we're happy with the progress.
Congratulations. It's been a lot, I'm sure. It's great. And I think there was a wonderful message of thanks expressed. I'm not sure if I read it on social media this morning or last evening, but just that there were some remarks from a recipient that were really beautifully shared. So thank you for passing those words along.
That came from our Ukrainian buddies. I think Nadia connected with that family, and they were very grateful. And that message stated that things came in right early and very well coordinated. So it was very, very appreciated by the family who just arrived last weekend.
Wonderful, I'm sure.
So thank you everyone who's been helping us in that process. I know it hasn't been the smoothest, to say the least, but we're really glad that it reached the families, and all the things that they needed got there on time. So that was really beautiful to see.
Anna, can you just mention some of the kits or bundles that you guys are looking to create? And this might, get people thinking about maybe their own organization or group. They want to help with something, or what do you? Yeah.
I might need Claudia's help with that. I don't know if she is here, because I don't want to get people too excited about things.
Yeah. Well, although, could you mention, like, on the intake form, the resource form, there are about 12 different options.
That'd be great. I wasn't sure if I can throw it back at you, but please go ahead. And I think you know more about this. You have been coordinating this and delivering those beautiful kits to the families. Please go ahead.
Hi, this is John and Betty. I can tell you we've got a hygiene kit. It's got deodorant for men and women, liquid hand soap. If a child's in the family that is younger, body wash that's suitable for them so that it's safe. adult body wash, conditioner, shampoo, some bar soap, toothpaste, shaving cream, some menstrual stuff, toothbrushes as required by the family. We had a dentist donate 144 adult toothbrushes and 72 children's. The backpacks, they're catered for lower elementary and then upper elementary, secondary. A backpack, a lunch box, an ice pack to go with that. If the senior elementary would be, and high school, a binder, paper, pens, pencils, eraser, ruler, pencil case, that sort of stuff.
And notebooks.
Couple of notebooks. And then the younger kids were putting in things like crayons, pencil crayons, markers, scissors, glue sticks, things that would be useful for them in pencil case and the lunch bag and stuff. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
And it's been incredibly helpful to have you on board. So thank you for doing this. And it's been amazing help. So the process we've created this week, we passed on the addresses to John and Betty, and John offered to deliver it within his family and his network. So that's been an incredible help. So thank you. We hope we can rely on this in the next few weeks. That's been really, really great.
Thanks for that update, John and Betty. I'm sure everybody would just love to see the look on the people's faces at the door. So thank you for that. It's a lot of commitment and planning, and keep it up. Thank you. We have some fundraising updates to share.
Do we want to do did Gotham do Ukrainian buddies, or is Nadia? Yes, okay. And I was wondering if there might be, I don't know if Gotham or Nadia are here, but just speak briefly on some of the services or things that we have been helping out with. I know there's a whole list of 12 different things that some people don't even realize that we could have additional volunteers to help in those areas, because we might not have the capacity to expand in some of them, but we are asking them if they do need help. I was meaning more the intake form, but we can skip over that. That's fine. But it has to do with education, healthcare, doctors, applying for applications, all of those different things that we are asking the Ukrainians if they need help with. But we can just go on to, I guess, the next fundraising.
Anna, do you have access to that form?
I have access to the form, and most of the requests actually currently are around, well, we ask if people are interested in receiving the initial bag of donations with clothes that are immediately could be used, as well as those kits that John and Betty talked about. And we also give people options to tell us whether they would need more information in terms of medical support and jobs. And I would say jobs are the biggest concern and the most frequently mentioned. So we are in the resource team together with Ukrainian buddies, we're starting to develop a way to create a local, maybe not a database, but at least a list of employees that might be hiring, and match it to the actual, what we know from Ukrainian buddies of people's abilities and people's interests, because that is the hardest piece with jobs. That we do have a list of businesses that are hiring, but it's not really matching with people who are showing up in terms of their skills and in terms of their interests, or even the schedules, right? When we have women with 2-3 kids, they can't commit to a certain type of work if they need to bring kids to school. So there are a lot of factors to consider, and we are just starting to, because we only had a few families. So now that there are more families in the region, we're starting to get a better sense of what kind of jobs, at least for now, might be needed, and whether these jobs are available and where they can start looking for those jobs. So on the resource team who is looking at that information, we also have on the resource team, I know she can't join us today, Sheena has been making calls to verifying and updating information regarding what's available from the government, because that's also a moving target. So we made it a goal on the resource team to keep weekly updates. What is Red Cross doing? What is YMCA Settlement doing, right? Because there are announcements that come in the news. They don't really come into play right away. And it takes weeks, sometimes months, to see those in place. And it's nice to have that information freshly updated so people don't have to make those calls if it's not available yet. And once it's available, that can actually be directed to those organizations that are providing the supports. Steph, did it answer the question? I hope it did.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess, this is exactly, the intricacy or how big resources is, because it's also, for example, someone asked in our Facebook page, is Kitchener-Waterloo a walkable city? Can I get around without a car? And one of our, volunteers and people jumped in and they created a whole document of how to get around the Waterloo region via bike or transit. And so your resource document is full of, or the research the resource team is doing is full of looking at, what doctor's offices speak Ukrainian, where can you find Ukrainian food? So there's a whole bunch of opportunities to really research and do a deep dive into our region of what we currently offer for the Ukrainian community and what kind of support networks there are.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, Steph. And I would say it's also a moving target of finding out what's needed, right? So it takes those families to come in and ask us, like, can you bike to school? Is there this type of job? What's the daycare situation? How do I find a midwife? So all those questions need to sometimes come from the family. So as we are starting to see more families to come to a region and start to settle here, we get a better idea of what needs to be researched.
I'm good. Sorry, Jenny, I'm going to cut you off before. I think you were ready to jump into fundraisers.
Shall we talk about fundraisers?
Yeah, sure. I'm quite confident Leslie's not here. So Leslie, she joined our team about a week and a half ago. She was going to be helping with our marketing communications team, as well as our event management team to help with the Eventbrite and posting events. But through our conversation, I learned a bit more about her, and we kind of jumped in and said, you know what, let's see if we can run a Waterloo region-wide walkathon. And how do we do that? And so she's been exploring over the last week and a half, what would this look like? How would we get funding? What kind of program we would be using? So right now it's still in the idea stage, but we'd love to have other people who have been interested in exploring this opportunity with her, because our end goal would be raising around $100,000 with community-led walkathons. So I'm just going to read to her what she just wrote for her beginning kind of pitch of what she sees this as, and then hopefully the end goal is to launch it in the next week and a half or so. So Waterloo Region is joining together to offer humanitarian support for Ukraine. From the comfort of our homes, we're watching the devastation impact our global brothers and sisters in Ukraine. And what we were looking to do is doing a walkathon for Ukraine. All funds raised will be sent directly to Ukraine to offer life-saving humanitarian aid, as well as providing food, shelter, healthcare to those in need. And what we're thinking about doing is how you can participate is by organizing a neighborhood, school, or workplace or sports team, and you can participate in your own walkathon. So it's very community-led. It'll be over a week time period. We're thinking it'll be over a week time period. You can either energize yourself and your family, or like we said, you can get a whole community on board. You create a team within the program that we're hoping to have, and you start fundraising. And all those funds get accumulated into one mass pool of funds. And you can also help by spreading the word, sharing everything through our social media channels, or talking with your employer or any other local organizations or churches in your area. And yeah, so that's kind of the idea of it. So if anyone's ever done a walkathon before, or community-led walkathons, so it'll be, like I said, it'll be at your own pace, at your own events, and you'll run your own, like your own family, just choosing to walk from point A to point B, or doing something larger. If anyone has an organization or church that they know has held one in the past that has access to a program that we could partner with in order to access this program, that'd be fantastic, because we're trying to find a program to use, and it can be kind of costly. So we're hoping to work with a church organization that already has paid a year fee for one, and move that idea forward. So if you have anyone that you know, please reach out to us and let us know. Does anyone have any questions regarding that walkathon? Actually, we should have been asking questions way before now. Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay. The other fundraiser, another volunteer. So another volunteer has been with us for a while. She was helping with events as well, or is helping with events as well. Her cousin is in Ukraine, in an occupied city or area, community, and is struggling with access to power for heat, cooking food, and such. Her cousin does own a solar panel company, but he's actually given out all his supplies to people within the community so that they could actually have some sort of energy source during this time. They can't get access to any banks. They have very little cash themselves, but what we are looking at is helping to build up the capacity of solar energy in Ukraine. There are currently over 67, I think, communities, at least 67 communities are currently without electricity. And we see that helping to boost up or provide funding for critical infrastructure, energy infrastructure in Ukraine, not only offers an availability so actually I'll read what she says. As the war continues to cause devastation across Ukraine, thousands of people are living without heat and electricity. To support Ukrainians in their fight for freedom, both today and in the future, financial assistance is required to repair, replace renewable energy infrastructure that was damaged by weapons, looting, and occupation, and an investment in solar energy infrastructure to provide reliable access. We're in the early stages of setting up a fundraiser to support local partners in Ukraine to restore the Ukrainian power system after deoccupation. And we're looking to see if anyone has any networks or ties in the green energy sector. Yes, and to please reach out to us to discuss this more if you would like. So this is another example of how some of our volunteers are coming to us, really energized about an idea, thinking through the process and the problem, and then, seeing if we could utilize our network, our connections, and the energy that we have of the over 300 volunteers that are currently looking to help out. If we can start matching people up and moving things forward, moving products or solving problems in a certain way. Now, we want to keep within our own scope of work and make sure we're keeping within our mandate of efforts, but that doesn't mean we can't, expand and adapt what we're doing. So again, if you're really interested in doing something, we have lots of problems and issues to solve within our own group right now, so we can help the Ukrainians that are coming. But we'd love to also explore ideas if you think you have a solution to a problem. Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay, Jenny, go ahead.
I know that we had two other ideas. Air miles was one of them. I wasn't sure if you wanted to mention that. I do have a volunteer management team update. If you would like to hear that, I can share that now. Lots of us are here tonight, so I'm so glad that so many people have volunteered to be in this team. I would like to just give a short update on volunteers that we know this week are absolutely required to help some team leaders fill some vital positions. First of all, in marketing, I believe Chris would like to have some folks who are interested in web writing. And my technology terms, please bear with me. You can give a little laugh if you like. Some web writers, some content writers, somebody who might be interested in contributing to newsletter publishing or writing, and people who might be interested in working on social media. So if you have some skills in those areas and you haven't thought that you might want to contribute, please consider using those skills, because we would love to have some more support for Chris on marketing, and for the rest of the team as well, of course. Now for the walkathon, I know that for that fundraiser, we're looking for people who might reach out to various community groups and sports teams to see if they'll organize a team for that walkathon. If you could think about connections you may have to reach out to a fundraising software company to ask for a donation of software for 2 months' time. If you are someone who may know a lot of people in your community, post to your friends, your pages, and your family to organize those walks, and call local companies. We're looking for people to join the fundraising team with Leslie, to call local companies and ask them to run an office walk or to match employee donations. So that would be amazing. We would like to get some volunteers who would join Leslie on the fundraising for that walkathon. For business and partnership, we would like to have some individuals who wouldn't mind using the telephone to reach out to companies and community support sectors. So I don't have more details on that, but if you feel that you have a friend or someone who's not currently volunteering and they are looking to get involved and they have an interest in the business partnership area, please do encourage them to volunteer. Thank you. That's all from volunteer management. Have we got someone who has a question or a comment about any other fundraisers? Otherwise, I think we're going to move into our breakout rooms. We have 5 breakout rooms this evening, and I wonder if Neil might jump back in now and help me organize the breakout rooms.
Sure.
Oh, there's
I'll do
Steph,
that.
sorry. Is that okay with you, Steph? Have you got another?
I think, do we have any questions now? So the breakout rooms are going to be specifically designed or specifically for people who are already in teams. So people who are engaged in the team, working on projects, have talked with the team lead, are in it. If you are interested in joining a team, but you have not been like talking and being a part of it yet, then we need you to stay in this room and work with Jenny and the volunteer management team to be integrated into a task or into a team. And this just allows our other teams to be working on, challenges and problems they currently have before them without having to also integrate a new person and then to the team at the exact same time. So if you're not sure if you belong to a team, please stay in the room when the breakout rooms do open up. Yes, and the main room is staying open for everyone, and this is where you get to talk about, what tasks need to happen, and just get to know each other a bit more.